Good night. Why does no one say good night as a greeting anymore? That used to be a thing. You'd open a door, good night. I don't know if that was a thing or not. I'm actually going psycho right now because I tried to do an episode, right? This is literally how every episode starts. It's me explaining something. Try to do an episode. It's not going according to plan because I just sat down, plopped on my bed, put this purple light on. Hey, also welcome back to Elizabeth Elaborates. I'm Elizabeth. Put on this purple light, and I was like, I have no plan. I have nothing to talk about. You know what it sounds like when you have nothing to talk about and you sit on your bed and try to record an episode? It sounds like you have nothing to say. It sounds like terrible. So, anyway, I'm here now. Can you hear my retainers rattling? I took them out mid episode. I was trying to get on a coherent train of thought about the pseudo third person reality, which maybe I'll just tease that episode, put that out there. But I don't think it can be coherent anymore, guys. It's 9:40ish. I sat down at 9:15 to like literally just get in bed to go to sleep, and then I was like, let me whip out a little episode right now because I'm gonna be gone for like 2 weeks. Nothing's gonna get posted till August, so I gotta get something out there. Just turns into the most random rambling thing ever, which honestly we love a little craziness, okay? I miss sleepovers. I never had that many sleepovers when I was a kid. Um but there's something about like the delirium and being with your friends that is like the greatest thing ever, and I missed that in adulthood so much. I had a sleepover not that long ago with my friend, and first of all, she pulled a one night stand on me to go play D&D with her siblings at like 8 or 9 in the morning. And if that does not tell you something about my friend, I don't know what will. I was like, "Girl, where are you going? Don't leave me." I'm like, "Stay here." She has to go play D&D. I don't understand it. I don't know why they picked that hour of the day. I think maybe they're in like another time zone or something, but we had like a silent cup of coffee together at the kitchen table. We're just like each sipping our coffee, and she's like, "Okay, bye, gotta go." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, all right, I guess that's it. I guess you don't love me." Um, and she fell asleep during the movie, and left me alone to be scared. Actually, it wasn't even scary. It was Knives Out, which I've never seen. But let me tell you, I am the biggest scaredy cat on the entire planet. I've watched a few horror movies at this point. I'm pushing myself. But Knives Out, if you've seen it, there's this scene where there's somebody sitting in a chair in a like empty building. I forget what was happening. I think that person was alive still, but I didn't know if they were alive or not. And I'm sitting in my on my living room floor watching this with my friend sleeping next to me. And I believe my house is haunted. And I was like watching this thing and I was like, I can't do this. Like, why am I doing this? She's not even awake anymore. I feel like we picked this movie for half me, half her. Like, maybe I should just tap out. So anyway, I literally like reached over. I was like, "Wake up, wake up!" She didn't wake up, and so then I suffered through the movie. But that reminds me of like that's happened multiple times. Um, at sleepovers when I was younger. I think we watched this movie called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Every time I tell that to someone, they're like, what kind of budget is that? You name it Bodies. I don't know. I don't know when that movie was made. It feels like it was not that long ago. But anyway, it was also like a little freaky. It was kind of like Knives Out vibe. That's good enough for me. That's enough fear factor. Hereditary was my first scary movie that I ever watched. I watched it with a bunch of my friends. This was actually gold. This is like the highlight horror movie experience of my life. Me and my friend group, we were in high school. We all decided we wanted to watch a scary movie, like a bunch of us. We'll say there's like 10 of us or something. And none of us really like horror movies. The kid's house that we were at, he loved horror movies. And he had this like guest house, pool house thing in the back. So we went out there. It's like a bar, it has a couch, it has a massive TV screen, LED lights around the whole thing, so he made it red to be like scary, and it was like legit freaky. There's glass doors everywhere, so that's also freaky because you're like, oh my gosh, something's watching me. And we are all piled on like three couches. So there's like boys on this couch, boys on that couch, girls on the middle couch. And we slowly, just throughout the movie, we're watching Hereditary again, like the scariest movie ever. We're all just like congregating onto this center couch. And so by the end of it, we're 3 layers deep with people. So I'm on the bottom of the couch. I was like, someone hold my hand, please. And then I'm holding hands with Joe and Joey. And then I'm in the middle of holding their hands. I'm holding hands with 3 people, or it's a 3-way handhold. We were, I was crying. We were screaming. We were freaking out. The kid's house who we were at, he's like turning the lights on and off to freak us out even more. We were literally traumatized by this movie. And then he turns the lights out. People start banging on windows, just like goofing around. It was literal horror. We stood up off the couch, and the sweat, I kid you not, the sweat was like accumulating in puddles on that couch. We were all soaking wet, disgusting, like it was wild. And it took me literal months to forget what I saw in that movie. So if you love horror movies, that's my plug for Hereditary. Every time I tell someone I hate horror, that's the one I've seen, they're like, no, you watched Hereditary? That's crazy. So I don't know. I'm not trying to brag. I really don't think it's an accomplishment. I think it's just like the funnest horror movie experience ever. And every once in a while, I still like look at the corner of the ceiling and I can like fully picture that girl hanging in the corner of the ceiling. That traumatized me. I slept with the light on, and then driving home, I think I was like 17 or 18. I was probably like 18, so fresher on my license. And I was just like driving through his town, which was like a little bit more urban. So there's like cars parked on the street and everything. It's like a little awake at night. It's close to midnight. I was like so freaked out by everything. It was horrible. We're all texting each other in the group chat. It was wild. And anyway, that's like the greatest horror movie experience. So whenever I sit around in my bed and I just watch a horror movie by myself, it's like, it's so different watching one by yourself versus watching it with people. It's so much less scary with people, for sure. But, you know, if your friend is sleeping on the floor next to you, one night standing you in a sleepover, it's going to be scarier, you know? That's my point. I feel like I always get out of breath on these podcasts. I feel like I need to breathe better. Let's take a breath, everyone. Okay, ready? Inhale. Exhale. I just watched a video about how to breathe on a run. And she was trying to explain it with like the military left, right, left thing. And she's like, you take 2 half out breaths. I was like, how do you breathe halfway? I don't know. I didn't learn how to breathe from that video. That video didn't teach me anything. I still just am out of breath on a run. But what other I watched American Psycho. That was mid. And then when you get to the bodies in the closet at the end of it, that I just didn't like. I just don't like dead bodies. Like, don't murder people, okay? I'm not into that. No Country for Old Men. That, you're just like uptight the whole time. That's suspense. I watched the Alien movies. Those are good. Not all of them. Not all of them are good, and I haven't seen all of them. Signs. Oh my gosh. 12 Cloverfield Lane. Someone needs to watch that movie and tell me, what is that? What is that about? What is the purpose? What is the goal with that? Because I've watched it, I think 3 times at this point, first by myself, and then I showed it to 2 people. Our reactions at the end are always like, huh, so what was that? And no one, I don't get it at the end of the movie. You get to the end and it's just like question mark. But it's so good. I forget that actor's name. The guy who plays like the main character guy is so good and spooky in such a realistic way where like someone just gives you the creeps and you can't like really put your finger on it. Oh, such a good movie. I actually love that movie for being so confusing and like non-directional, if that's a word. I really do enjoy that movie. So, someone watch that. It gets so chaotic towards the end. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Hold on. It gets super chaotic. Let me just spoil it. Aliens are like falling out of the sky at the end of it. Okay. Hate to break it to you, but it is just one of those movies where you just like don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden this like weird globular creature comes out of the cornfield. You're like, all right, it's just one of those. But that is like kind of psychological thriller, I think, in my opinion. I did enjoy it a lot. Um, and I can't think of any more that I've watched recently. I wrote a little discussion post essay about horror movies because I finally put my finger on it. That like why do people enjoy horror? And one thing I put in my essay was just like it gives me an adrenaline rush where like you fully get the anticipation and like the fulfillment and the calm after. Like you get the full ride of the adrenaline. But for having like gained or lost nothing. You know, like you're just sitting in your room. I don't have to go live on the edge. I don't have to put myself in danger. I don't have to do something wild. I just get to sit in my bed and I still get that whole rush, start to finish, of adrenaline. So I think that's really helpful because if you're uptight or stressed about something, my whole point with the watching horror movies is like when you get that adrenaline rush, it kind of like sweeps in all of your other emotions of like stress, anxiety, I'm overtired, I got a lot on my mind. And it kind of like gets all caught in that flow where your sole focus is the horror movie or whatever you're scared about in that movie, and it kind of like washes that all away with it. And I think that's a key part of why people love scary movies. It's just zero risk. Such a low risk adrenaline rush, which that's why people do drugs. You know, like I don't want to be the one to say it, but you know, people are trying to get a high on the least amount of danger, the least amount of effort, in the comfiest way possible. And there's very few things that can afford that. So I think entertainment is a big one. Um, that's why people, there's some like pretty crazy stuff out there, super intense stuff. And I think that's why people enjoy it because we don't get to really live like on the in danger anymore. You know, we're not like, oh my gosh, a what are those like woolly? Oh, they're not like a mammoth coming to chase me. You know, like no, you just get to sit in bed all day. You can just, you know, be in complete comfort and safety, and never have to move, never have to do anything. But then we miss that. I feel like there's something in our nature that we're supposed to have those ups and downs, and like we do have fear responses. We have fight or flight, but that's not like exercise in the truly like animalistic way that I think it once was. So we like to put ourselves in situations where we feel like we're doing that. So I don't know. I forget what the other points I made in that essay were, but I just remember for me that was like the main driving force. And I think back to that time, I was super stressed. My last 2 semesters or so at school, I was super stressed, and I would come home and I would like stay up really late and do my work. But then I'd also do that whole like revenge. Is it called like revenge bedtime? That sounds super stupid, but it's basically where like you just end up staying up late for no reason because it feels like you're in control of something and it's your own time. So you're going to do what you want, even though it's hurting yourself the next day. So I would kind of do that, and then I'd watch a scary movie that would keep me up, and I'd sleep poorly and have bad dreams. But I think that was because I was all stressed and like mentally uptight about stuff, and then it kind of just helped me out. Like I didn't want to sit and read a nice la di da di da like type of book. I needed something that I could actually grab onto and feel alive again. So that's a little bit of our obsession with horror, but I'm not obsessed with horror. I'm a scaredy cat. I just like to get scared. I like a jump scare, to be honest. Like, I'm simple. I don't need an elaborate plot to get scared, you know? Because I don't enjoy. It's like spicy food. It's literally like spicy food. I don't enjoy it. There's some times where it tastes really, really good and you crave it and you want it, but it's not an enjoyable thing to me to eat super spicy food. You know? And some of it's just like awful. Like you just take a bite and you're like, okay, this is just pain. I don't want that. And then sometimes it's like with a movie or a show. It's just I turn it on. This is like awful. Turn it off. So I don't know. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's fun. It's like spicy food. But there is definitely like an artistry in making a good horror movie. And sometimes people nail that and they're not even like major films. It's like Vimeo or something. Vimeo is wild, guys. I don't know if you've been around Vimeo much. Um I've found myself in some weird places on that site, but you know, we come out the other side. And I'm getting tired. And I don't want to have bad dreams. So, actually, I had the weirdest dream last night with like 3 people I know in it. And one of them was doing some like interpretive theater dance. And then me and all my friends were just like watching. It was whack. Oh, let me tell you my recurring dream really quick on the spooky train of thought. So I have this recurring dream. The moment I step into this dream, I know exactly what it is, and I just get filled with dread. I have these bad dreams, and it's like in my spirit, like my psyche, where I'm so scared. I have so much dread. I'm so nervous. Like, it's real. You know, like if I woke up, I feel like I would still be in that headspace. And it's true, like, you have that as a kid a lot where you wake up and you don't know what's real and you're like crying in your bed, but that happens so much less as an adult. But there's a couple dreams that I have recurring that do that to me. So this one, I think I've had it 2 or 3 times at this point, but it's awful. And at the time, I had not seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched like half of Chainsaw Massacre. And I was like, whoa, this is like very much my dream. And I didn't like it, so I stopped watching it. But it involves meat hooks. So basically, close your eyes, guys. Get in the space with me. I knock on someone's door, right? And I'm asking for someone in the house. I'm like, hey, is so and so here? And so I step inside, and it's like their dad or something. And these are people I don't know. And this man comes to the door. I step inside the entryway. I see the kitchen in the back. I see this other door, and there's a stairwell. And so he's like, wait a moment here. And he steps away. And this is when I'm like, uh-oh. Because you don't like being alone in people's houses, right? It's just not a good feeling. And so he's like, all right, just come this way. He's right this way. And he opens that side door that's on the right. And so he opens that door, and I'm just like, ooh, this is when the dread hits me. And I step through that door. There's no choice. It's like, you must go through the door. And I know what's coming. So I step through that door, shuts behind me, boom. I'm in this like cobblestone courtyard surrounded by dark wood paneled fence. Like if you've ever seen an old bunker from like the Civil War or something where it's just like the wood sticking into the ground, it's exactly like that, but the wood is like super dark and almost black, and then the cobbles are like marbly yellow brown with dirt. And at this point, my whole body just like drops. Like I know death is coming. Like I just don't know how to explain it. So I start looking around. I'm like, there has to be a way out. I have to get out of here. This is not what I wanted, because I was in the 21st century when I knocked on that door, and now I'm in freaking 1750 in this courtyard with like horses and carriages, and there's like people in long dresses and guys in weird suits with like the pilgrim pants, and there's horses, and it's just sky, fence, cobblestone, and I'm turning around. And what's interesting about my dreams is sometimes they're not from like my eyes, it's from like camera angle, where it's not quite like my point of view. It feels like the camera's like sweeping around me, behind me. There's no way out. This is a four walled in courtyard. And so I just start walking because I gotta find a way out, right? And I'm talking to people, and I'm like, hey, I gotta get out of here. I'm not supposed to be here. How do I get out? And like they're laughing. It's like, like a lady's laughing at me. You don't know what you're in for. Ha ha ha. Like spooky laughs. And they're like, oh, you don't know what you're in for. You don't know what's coming. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, in my mind, I know exactly what's coming. And I don't know where this transition happens, but basically, you end up in this like butcher shop, and there's just like carcasses hanging from giant meat hooks. And they're pigs, they're cows, big massive animals. And I just have this understanding that like I am going to be placed on a meat hook, and like I could feel it like rip through my spine in my dream, and I'm like, I need to get out, otherwise I will be on a meat hook. And it's horrifying, and it's like I'm in the butcher shop, there's blood everywhere, I'm staring at these dead pigs. It's like I don't want to be there, and I just am like in this literal fear for my life that like this guy's just gonna come up behind me, drop me on a meat hook. And when I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre and I got to that part in the house, I was like sick to my stomach. I was like, this is exactly what my dream is like. And I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I thought I invented that. Obviously, meat hook, human, the thought could cross your mind. Like, ouch, that would hurt if I got on that. But, oh my gosh, it's just like awful. So then I just start running. I start trying to escape, whatever. And then I wake up, inevitably. And then I just have this like fear of death. And that's my scary recurring dream that I don't want to have ever again, even though I know what happens. But then I don't know, how do you define a lucid dream? But like the moment I step in that house in my dream, I'm like, shoot, I'm here again. Like this thing? Like really? Can't I just not go in the door? Like I'm having these thoughts that I'm aware it's already a dream, and I can't get out. So I don't know if that's lucid or not, because I think of lucid more as like controlling your dream, which I do that a lot too, where I know it's a dream and I'm like, "Hey, let's go this way. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this up. Let's have this happen next." So I think that's lucid dreaming. But some people say lucid is more just like an awareness of a dream. But I mean, in that case, I have a lot of lucid dreams. If it's just you're aware that you're in a dream, then I have a lot of those. Because I have crazy dreams all the time. And sometimes I'm like, what is going on? Like, can I just sleep peacefully? So, I don't know. Apparently, I can't sleep peacefully. And I just had this conversation with my mom the other day, because I used to sleepwalk as a kid all the time. And I got up like 4 times one night, like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I just get up and I go to the bathroom because I can't figure out why else I would be up. And it just hit me that maybe I'm like about to sleepwalk, but I wake up and then I find myself like standing in the middle of my room. The only justifiable reason I could find to be there instead of in bed is that I had to go to the bathroom. So then I'm like, certainly I don't have to go to the bathroom 4 times in one night. So I'm also never going to wake up standing next to my bed and get back in bed. I'm like, no, I must have had to go to the bathroom. And then I'm sleepy and I'm not like, you did this 3 times already. So I'm like, I wonder if I just am not sleeping as deeply as I did when I was a kid. And I break my sleepwalk and I wake up. Like I can't get as far as I did. Because when I was a kid, I would be at the other side of the house. I'll be having a conversation. I'd be going down the stairs. I'd be like, I would just talk to my family, and they obviously knew I was sleepwalking because you just talk gibberish when you're sleepwalking. You can't make like coherent sentences. But I wonder if it's the same thing, and then I just catch myself like waking up out of it. And I'm like, all right, there's no reason that I should be up right now. I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely a kid thing. It's more common in kids to sleepwalk, but I sleep talk. So I still feel like I could sleepwalk if I wanted to. And then I feel like half the time I do get up in the middle of the night, I'm still like asleep. Like I'll be on the toilet with my eyes shut. You know, I'm just walking down the hallway with my eyes shut because I don't want to wake up at all. So that's also terrifying because what if I walk into something scary? What if I walk out of my house? What if I fall down the staircase? I remember that one time I walked down the staircase and I was still awake. I think I was awake. My mom thinks I was asleep. But sometimes I do remember what happened when I walk. So then I went downstairs, made it to the bottom. My mom was like, "What are you doing? Why are you here?" She's doing laundry. I'm like, "Mom, I can't sleep. I want to go, like, I don't know, come say goodnight to me, tuck me in." And she's like, "Lizzie, don't come down here." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "You could fall. You could be sleeping right now. You could have fallen on the stairs." And I remember that so much. And I was like, "Mom, I'm not sleeping." Because that was like always a conversation was like, I would come out of my room and they'd be like, "Are you sleeping?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not sleeping." Or I would come out and be like, "I think I'm sleeping right now, but blah, 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 blah." It was so strange. I should honestly like write down all of my sleepwalking memories so that I don't forget them because I feel like those could be great stories. But I always knew when I was sleepwalking. Actually, that's not true. That's not true at all. There are some times when I definitively knew that I was sleepwalking and I was like, I'm not saying what I want to be saying right now. Like the thought is not coming out correctly. And then I get frustrated and I just go back to bed. But they never woke me up. They just turned me around, put a hand on my shoulder, and led me back down the hallway and said, "Good night, Lizzie. Go to bed. You're sleepwalking." And that was really nice. So appreciate that. Shout out to my family who doesn't know this podcast exists. Anyway, with all that being said, I think I'm going to call it a night because I got to be at work at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have sweet dreams. I hope you don't sleepwalk anywhere. I hope you stay right in your bed. Snug as a bug in a rug, as they say. Also, let me know, comment if you sleep on the right side of your bed or the left side and why. And does it matter? Because I'm stuck in between a window on the right side and a door on the left. So I sleep in the center of my bed, an equal distance away from either of those hazards, if you know what I mean. Alright, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you never have bad dreams. And I don't know. I wish you the best. Thanks for listening. I'm making this a really long goodbye. I feel like usually I just peace out right away, but I don't want anybody to be scared, you know? Have sweet dreams. Yeah. I was gonna tell you a story, but I just did that for like 30 minutes, so that's fine. Goodbye. Peace. Also, my eyebrow is like crazy itchy.